All right, so what I want to do here really quickly is show you how to use the class syntax. This is probably something you're going to see if you're watching tutorials, and you might be wondering why I'm using the old function constructor method. The reason is because when you use this class syntax, it kind of hides what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to quickly show this to you. Again, we're going to revisit this later on in the course when we start talking about advanced JavaScript. So let's say we're going to make a little constructor function, okay, where it's going to create an object for a visitor that's going to an amusement park. So we're going to have the first name, the last name. We're going to have something called a fast pass. If you've ever gone to Disneyland, you know they sell these things, or I'm not sure if they're free or not, but basically it gives you an advanced reservation for a ride so you can skip. And then also we're going to do a meal pass where you can maybe go to a buffet or something and eat, okay? So let's do something like function. I'm going to call this park, okay, for amusement park. And then I'm just going to do first name. I'm going to do last name. I'm going to do fast pass. And I'm going to do meal pass like this, okay? So nothing new here. We're just going to go this dot first name is equal to the first name. We're going to go, and I didn't mean to put a comma there. So this dot, we're going to go last name is equal to the last name. We're going to go this dot fast pass is equal to the fast pass, okay? And this dot meal pass is equal to the meal pass, okay? So at this point, we already know how to set this up. We know that if we made methods inside of this guy, the problem is that when we make these new instances, we're going to end up copying that method to each instance. Okay, so we don't want to do that. So we end up using the prototype, right? So what we do is we say park.prototype, okay? And then we can put dot, and then you can put the name of this method. So let's say you wanted to do get full name like this, okay? And I'm going to set this equal to, we're going to use a function here. And basically I'm just going to return something simple. I'm going to use some backticks here so I can just go something like the first name, and then let's just do the last name. And I forgot the this. So you need the this keyword dot last name. And over here, this should be this dot first name. So this dot first name. Okay. So we also want some other methods here, something for the fast pass and something for the meal pass. So let's come down here and go something like park.prototype. Okay. And let's go ahead and name this something like can skip. So this is basically going to just tell somebody, hey, you bought the fast pass, so you can skip the line. Okay, so let's go ahead and just return a simple little string. I'm going to use some backticks here. And the first thing is I'm going to use this method from above. So I'm going to go this dot get full name, okay, with some parentheses here. And I'll say inside of this guy, I'm just going to ask if this dot fast pass, is that true or not, right? This is going to be a Boolean. So if it's true, I just want to say can skip the line. And then if it's false, then I just want to say can't skip the line, okay? And then we can just put a little period here to kind of finish that up. And then let's make one more based on if you can eat or not. So we'll say something like park.prototype, and we'll say can eat. This again will be a function. Let's go ahead and do this where we return a simple little string. And again, I'm just going to call this get full name guy, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to ask if this dot, in this case, can eat. If that was true, then I'll put can eat here. Otherwise, I'll just put can't eat here. And then basically I'll just put a period here to finish that up. Okay, so at this point, we already know how to set this up. There's nothing new, okay? I'm going to call this a few times, and then I'm going to convert it over to a class, okay? And I'll show you how it's different. I'll show you how things kind of get hidden in terms of what JavaScript's doing. So I wanted to show you this way so at least you got some insight into what JavaScript's doing behind the scenes. Okay, so let's come down here, and let's make a couple of these guys. I'm going to go const, maybe Molly, okay? Maybe she visits the park. Remember, you need your new keyword, and then I'm going to go park. Okay, and then I'm going to pass in her first name, which is Molly. I'm going to pass in her last name. Let's say it's Peters. Let's say she did not get the fast pass and she did not get the meal pass. Okay, then let's come over here and go const. Let's go maybe Steven. Let's say another instance of this guy. So let's go ahead. I need to tighten this down here. So let's go ahead and say something like, let's say Steven. Let's say maybe Owens. And maybe he bought both. So let's say it's true and then true again. Okay. Let's just do one more. So let's go const, maybe Betty. So Betty. So this is new park. Okay. And I'll say this is Betty. Maybe this is going to be Stevens. And maybe she bought the first guy, which was, I think, if I come up here, the fast pass. So she's got the fast pass. but she doesn't have the fast pass, but she does have the meal pass. And let's do one more actually where we can mix this up again. So let's do const, let's do Jennifer, let's do new park, and we'll do Jennifer. And then let's do, and this shouldn't be capitalized over here. So let's make this lowercase j, and then let's come over here. So we'll go Jennifer, and then I don't know, let's say something like, we'll use green. How about that? And then we'll do, let's say true. So she got the fast pass, and then false, she didn't get the meal pass. Okay. So at this point, we know we can go through, we can console.log all these objects. We know what's going to be inside. That's nothing new. Let's just go ahead and go something like console.log. And I don't know how that happens. So console.log. And I'm just going to start with Molly dot, let's just go get full name. We'll just go through these methods real quick. I'm going to copy this and paste it a few times so we can do this for Steven. So let's go Steven, let's go Betty. So Betty, and then let's go Jennifer. Okay, so Jennifer. And let's pop open the terminal and let's run this guy. You get Molly Peters, Stephen Owens, Betty Stevens, and then Jennifer Green. Okay, so that's pretty easy. We're going to look at the other ones. So we had Ken Skip and we have Ken Eat. So let's replace them one at a time. So let's come over here and we'll just check those real quick. So I'm going to go and change this to Ken Skip. Okay, this basically tells you if you can skip the line or not. So basically Molly is not going to be able to. And we see that Stephen can, and we see that Jennifer can, right? So Betty won't be able to either. Let's pop this open and clear this and run this. So we get Molly Peters can't skip the line, Stephen Owens can skip the line, Betty Stevens can't skip the line, and Jennifer Green can skip the line. Let's look at the other one real quick, and then I'll show you how to convert this over. So we also have the can eat. So let's just change this last part here to the can eat. So right here, so can eat. Flip this open, clear this, and run this. And you get Molly Peters can eat here, Stephen Owens can eat here. So everyone can eat there. So that doesn't really make sense. So let's go up here and see what we did wrong. So up here we said this dot can eat, but really what we need is this dot meal pass. Okay, so that was wrong. So let's change this to meal pass right here. And now that should work. Okay, so let's pop this open, clear this, and run this. And we get Molly Peters can't eat here, Stephen Owens can, Betty Stevens can, and Jennifer Green can't. Okay, so we fixed that error. All right, so let's just really quickly go ahead and log these guys to the console. And we're going to see that they're just objects without any methods involved, right? So basically, we don't have the can eat, the can skip, or the get full name that are attached to them. So let's go ahead and clear this and run this. So you have the first name, the last name, the fast pass, and the meal pass in each one, but you don't see those methods, right? Because they're created on the prototype using that prototype property. All right, so let's go ahead and convert this over so you can cheat and use Visual Studio Code. So you just click this guy, this light bulb's going to come up and it's going to ask if you want to convert this over. So if you click this, it's going to take care of everything for you, okay? So you notice that now it says class and then you have park, okay? And then you have your constructor, so it's got the same things in here. But notice how this ends here, and then instead of having this basically where you type out the park and then dot prototype and then dot the name of the function, you just have the name of the function. You don't have the word function at all anywhere here. So you just have the name of the function with some parentheses and then basically what we were doing, okay? So this is converted over. Notice how this is outside of this part right here, okay? That's very crucial because if you put in here this dot get full name inside of these brackets here, again, you're gonna have the same problem where it's copied to each object as it gets created, okay? So you see these guys are here, okay? And if you come back down here and you pop this open and clear this and you run this, it's the same thing, okay? And you can come back and use the methods as we just did. Nothing is going to change for us. So we can go ahead and do something like dot, and we'll say can eat maybe. We'll go back to that one. So let's clear this and run this. Works the same. If you go back to like can skip, I think it was, can skip, clear this, run this, same thing, okay? So that's a little insight into using the classes. This is an ES6 feature. So basically this is something that's a little bit newer. I wanted to wait to show you this because essentially if you see things like this, you don't really get a little bit of work with the prototype and then you get a little bit confused when we talk about that later on. But we will do a deep dive into this later on in the course.